told you. I told you. Chicka 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 remix. I told you. Sebastian the Mexican Grasshopper is the boogeyman of boxing. Nobody want the smoke with the return of the nerds. Sebastian Fundora, I told you. Damn, that was an ass whooping. The ponytail has been officially retired. But before we get into that, you know the slogan. Start your day with Christ. Start your day right. Don't end up circling on box and catching an ass whooping like ponytail. Dice, de fuego no me quemaré. No me ahogaré. Caminaré. Easy work. He said easy work. God damn, it's not a game. No. It is not a game. I said it years ago. There's a reason why Errol Spence said, chill, I'ma take care of the cows, the chicken, and the horses. I'm a farmer now. Chill, I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that smoke. He said, I want my teeth to stay in my head. I don't want a new set. Chill. Chill. Crawford, they offered him to fight. He said, chill, I'm retired. I'm building a house. I don't want no type of smoke with the Mexican Grasshopper. La Biblia dice que en la cruz podemos salvarnos. From round 2, walked them down. I thought it was going to be, I thought Thurman was going to have a few good rounds. Go check out my prediction. I said he's going to get on the back foot maybe round 5 or 6. Nope. Back foot on round 2. Sebastian Fundora was playing no type of games. Walking him down in round 2. And from 2 to 6 was just a straight ass whooping. I cannot give Thurman any type of round. He had no type of answers. It's just that size, that leverage, that them 8-foot arms just blow. I said it in my prediction video. I said this is going to be a massive Tim Tszyu type of ass whooping. That's exactly what it was. I'm not trying to hear. I mean, I like Ponytail, and thank you. We gotta give thanks to Ponytail. He took the money. He took the challenge. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it just was a massive ass whooping. He's retired now, but he had a great career. We can't take nothing away from Ponytail. He had a fun career, a great career. He gave you the big fights against Porter. He gave you the big fights against Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? He smashed Guerrero. He was a unified champion at the time. He was calling out Mayweather. He couldn't get the Mayweather fight. He called out, he smashed Paulie Malignaggi. He called out Amir Khan. Don't duck me, Sean. Don't duck me, Sean. At that time, he had, in his prime, nobody wanted, even Mayweather didn't want the smoke. He took the challenge against Pacquiao. He gave you a great fight against Pacquiao. If it wasn't for the knockdown, it could have went to Thurman. It could have been a draw. So, we want to give a shout out to Keith One Time Thurman. What a fun career. I enjoyed his career. I always liked Keith one time. I mean, I was kind of mad when, you know, he beat my boy Danny Garcia because I was a bigger fan of Danny Garcia, you know what I'm saying? And that fight could have went either way, you know what I mean? The Porter fight even could have went either way, you know what I mean? He edged those fights, but he won. It is what it is. It wasn't no robbery against Porter. It wasn't no robbery against Danny Garcia, you know what I mean? He had some ups and downs. He broke the elbow, had some injuries, you know what I mean? But overall, Thurman had a great career, and we want to give a big shout out to Keith one-time Ponytail. We want to give a shout out to Ponytail, you know what I mean? I watched his entire career. I saw him from like fight number 7 or 8. He fought, what was he fighting? Some Uruguayan guy, you know what I mean? Argentinian. He whooped that Argentinian. He had a fun career. The hype, he sold you the fight, the press conferences. He couldn't get the Errol Spence fight. He couldn't get the Crawford fight, but he gave you all the other good fights. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, Spence was on his way up. Spence wasn't even a champion. Crawford was fighting, you know, 135s in dangles and the opportunist. You know, Terrence Crawford, the opportunist. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting in dangles and postols and, you know what I mean? While Thurman was just reigning champ. So we got to give a big shout out to Thurman. Thank you for all the great fights. But unfortunately, every dog has his day. Every dog has his day. And boy, this was not a good day for Thurman, let me tell you. This was not a good day for Thurman. Just like it wasn't a good day for Tim Tszyu. No. Just like it wasn't a good day for Erickson Lubin. I said it years ago. Nobody want to smoke with the Mexican grasshopper. This nigga is a beast. That do not be fooled by the glasses and the skinny frame. This nigga is a beast. The only one to get lucky, which is going to be the next fight. The next fight for Sebastian Fundora will be a rematch against Brian Mendoza. That's why they put Brian Mendoza on the undercard. I'm not sure if he even won the fight. But whoever won the fight against Brian Mendoza is going to be fighting Sebastian Fundora. Even if he lost, I think they're going to, because it's the only storyline built in there. You know what I mean? And they, you know, they don't really have any other stars at PBC. We'll get into that in a minute. So Thurman in the post-fight interview is complaining about the referee. He said that the referee should have gave him an extra couple of rounds. Bro, this man was getting his ass whooped from round 2 to 6. It wasn't like it was close in round 3 or 4 or 5. And look at his face. Bro, the referee saved your life. Homie, you're lucky that you don't have to go to the hospital, you know, with a broken orbital bone like Kell Brook, like Billy Bump Saunders. You're lucky. The referee is there to prevent massive damage. You were not in the fight in any round. You know what I mean? That was not all stoppages are perfect, but that was a good stoppage. He could have stopped it in the 5th round. In the 5th round, he was getting his ass whooped. In the 4th round, he was getting his ass whooped. He talking about never dropped. He was never dropped. That the referee should have given him an extra couple rounds that he could have caught. You know what I mean? Sebastian. He didn't catch Sebastian Fundora at all. Sebastian Fundora just walked this man down from round number 2, whooped his ass, just beating. It was just a one-sided fight. You know what I mean? Look at his face, my nigga. Yo. Sebastian Fundora is a beast, and nobody wants to smoke Boots Ennis. I like Boots Ennis, but he hasn't even gotten the Virgil Ortiz fight yet. He don't want no type of smoke. Boots don't want no type of smoke. Caleb Plant don't want no type of smoke at 160, 168. And you know I like Caleb Plant. I like Boots Ennis. But it is what it is. Sebastian the Mexican Grasshopper, Return of the Nerds, Fundora is the boogeyman in boxing. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Sebastian Fundora would be the boogeyman in boxing. Who would have thought, son? Clarissa Shields, she don't want no type of smoke. Get her ass whooped by this fucking skinny nigga. This dude is a beast. Sebastian Fundora only had one hiccup, and it's probably going to be his next fight because there's really nothing out there for him but the Brian Mendoza, because Brian Mendoza is the only man to ever knock out Sebastian Fundora. You know what I mean? He got that lucky shot. It is what it is. He got the lucky shot in there. You know what I mean? And there's really who is he gonna fight? There is no one else. What are you gonna bring up, David Benavidez? You gonna throw David Benavidez in there with Sebastian Fundora? What are you gonna throw Gervonta in there? There is nobody else for him to fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Erislandy Lara. I mean, there's no name out there for him to fight. You know what I mean? Brian Mendoza, because he's the only one to knock him out, and is the only one around that weight class, there's a storyline built in there. They could kind of sell that fight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, he knocked him out, 3 years ago, this and that, revenge, and this and that. But once Sebastian Fundora learned that, after that fight, after he got knocked out by Brian Mendoza, after that fight, he learned that he had to incorporate better defense. And that's exactly what he did. He went back to the drawing board, and, he still fights aggressive, but he fights with a jab now. Once he got that jab and the switch hitting, it's a problem, son. This man is a problem. It's that long-ass arm, that 8-foot arm. Blow, blow, blow. It's like he's hitting you with a broomstick over and over and over and over. And then once he breaks you down like he broke Tim Tszyu, then he goes in Mexican style. But first he breaks you down. Before he used to just fight Mexican style, like he whooped down Erickson Lubin, and that didn't work against Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza got a lucky shot and knocked him out. It could happen, you know what I'm saying? But Charlo don't want no type of smoke. No. Did he call out Charlo? Hold up. He calling out everybody. Do not be fooled when he puts down the glasses. He will get in there and whoop on Charlo, whoop on Caleb Plant, whoop on whoever. Get Crawford back in there. Get Errol Spence back in there. They retired because of Sebastian Fundora. And I'm not even like a big I'm a big Sebastian Fundora fan now. But you know what I mean? I was like a big Errol Spence fan. But after I saw Errol Spence get in the ring, and they were setting up that fight, and then the next fight was Tim Tszyu, and he saw the ass whooping that he gave to Tim Tszyu, Errol Spence shut off the phone. He said, chill, I gotta take care of my horses. I gotta take care of my chickens. I gotta take care of my cows. Chill. I don't want no type of smoke with this man. And then, after he gave Tim Tszyu another ass whooping, he said, chill. Crawford said, I don't talk English. I don't talk Mexican. I don't want to get beat up by Sebastian Fundora. Chill. I only want an old ass Canelo. I only want washed up Canelos for $50 million. Chill. I'm retired. Crawford is not that old. Crawford is not like washed up or nothing like that. He could have taken that fight, but he don't want the smoke. He don't want to get beat up and stopped by Sebastian Fundora. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And that's the next fight. It's going to be Sebastian Fundora versus Brian Mendoza. And, who would have thought that Sebastian Fundora would end up being the #1 star on PBC? Because David Benavidez is like 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You know what I mean? He'll go fight. David Benavidez is like 1 or 2 fights away from getting stolen by DAZN, just like Deontay Wilder. So that means that the only star left on PBC is really Sebastian Fundora and Gervonta. Crack baby Wahid. And who knows, when he'll be back. Go scroll back and go check out that video. Gervonta versus Isaac Cruz Part 2, the rematch. They're trying to make that happen. But after this long-ass layoff, I think that Gervonta is just going to come back for pies. You know how Gervonta loves some Mexican pies. I don't think he's going to fight Isaac Cruz in a rematch. I don't think he's going to fight Lamont the Legend Roach in a rematch. I think he's going to come back for pies. PBC is hanging on by a little thin hair on Ponytail's head, and now that even that little hair is gone, you know what I mean? The ponytail has been retired. PBC is PBC is just it's the Fundora show. David Benavidez versus Gilberto Ramirez is a pretty good fight. It's a pretty good fight, but I'm not even sure if that fight's gonna be on PBC. It might be on DAZN. There's really nothing left on PBC. Now I'm never, ever, 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 ever gonna betray PBC. I'm never, ever, 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 ever gonna give a dime to DAZN. I am never, ever, 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 ever gonna support DAZN. I'm a hater for life. That will never, ever, 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 ever change. But I gotta keep it G. I gotta keep it G. There's nothing left on PBC. All the big stars, the Danny Garcias, the Errol Spences, the Charlo brothers, all the big stars have retired, or they fight once a year, once every 2 years. The Caleb Plants, you know what I mean? Their roster has not been refilled. Their roster is just depleted. It's empty. The only big stars, somewhat big stars, and they're not like massive stars. They're not Deontay Wilder. They're not Danny Garcia. The only big stars left on PBC is David Benavidez, Sebastian Fundora, and Gervonta, who's mad inactive. So, things are not looking good on PBC. Things are not looking good on PBC, let me tell you. That's why they're bringing back Floyd Money Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao Part 2, the rematch. Because, you know, to save PBC, to give it like a little hype, a little life. You know what I mean? Now, Thurman, like I said before, thank you so much for the great career. He had a great career. He had exciting fights. He gave you good fights. You know what I mean? And, you know, every dog has his day. Nobody leaves this life without taking an L. Whether you take an L in the ring or you take an L outside the ring. Only Floyd Money Mayweather is undefeated, but he took a massive L, 60 days in jail. I would rather take an L in the ring, let me tell you. Anybody who ever been to jail, this shit is not a joke. I'm saying, at all. 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 30 days, 40 days, 60 days, any days in jail is a massive, massive L. So we all take an L. You just want to minimize the L's. You want to minimize the L's, you know what I'm saying? And get more dubs. You want to minimize the L's and get more dubs. You know what I mean? But we all take L's. It's just part of life. You know what I mean? Look at Tyson Fury. Who would have thought that Tyson Fury would get his ass whooped by Usyk, of all people? By a cruiserweight. Who would have thought that Anthony Joshua would get his ass whooped by Usyk and then lose his friends in Africa riding around in a Toyota? We all take L's, whether you're rich, whether you're famous, whether you got these skills or those skills. We all take L's. You just want to ride the L's, you know what I mean, and take the least amount of L's as possible. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You know what I mean? Thurman had a great career. Danny Garcia had a great career. Errol Spence had a great career. And, you know, boxing is like that. Boxing is not baseball. Boxing is not football or basketball. The L's in boxing come with lumped up eyes. You know what I mean? And your life is on the line for real, you know? Next up, next week, we got Deontay Wilder. The champ is back, carrying boxing on his back against Derek Chisora. And you're still getting these fights because the new generation obviously can't carry boxing, like I've said in my previous videos. You know what I mean? You're still getting these rehashed older fighters fighting each other because the new generation can't carry boxing. Even if you break it down by division. Who is the welterweight champion? Nobody knows. Who is the 154 champion? Nobody knows. Who's the middleweight champion? Erislandy Lara. Who's the The 168 champion is David Benavidez. Okay, you got David Benavidez over there. Heavyweight, the Daniel Dubois, the new generation, the Daniel Dubois, the Tumas. These niggas can't carry boxing. Boxing is like in a rut right now. You know what I mean? You got all the big fights, and now, you know, the new generation, the Ryan Garcias, the Rolly Romeros, the Teofimo Lopez, the Gervontas, they were supposed to be the big names coming up, but they're mad inconsistent. You know what I mean? They're mad inconsistent. They're mad like these are head cases. These guys are not the next Deontay Wilder. They're not the next Canelo. They're not the next Mayweather. They're not the next Pacquiao. I wish they were, but they're not. Maybe Sebastian Fundora. Maybe. But you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was a good fight. You know what I mean? It was a ass whooping, and shout out to Thurman. You know, he just retired. He still got the gift of the gab. You know what I mean? I'm glad that the referee stopped the fight. It was a good stoppage. I mean, you don't need the guy's eyeball hanging out his head. You know what I'm saying? He left with his faculties. In a couple months, all the swelling is going to go away. And I would love to have a Thurman and Porter, you know what I mean, doing commentating. I would like that. Thurman and Porter commentating. I would like that. I'll take that. Thurman will have a future in boxing, commentating, you know what I mean, interviews. You know, he got that personality, like kind of like Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no shame in that. But you know, the time has come, and sometimes you could go away on top, and sometimes you go away with a massive fucking lumped up eye, and that's just what it is. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share. Shout out to Sebastian Fundora. Shout out to Keith One Time Thurman, and we'll see. PBC is just still hanging out. 11 years. This is the 11 year. A couple days ago was the anniversary of PBC. They're not doing too well, but they refuse to bend the knee to DAZN. They better find a deal though. They better find some more funding from Amazon or from, I don't know, Fox or, I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's my video. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, share. Thank you.